So I guess because I think it's related to my topic, and it just reminded me, and it's still fresh. So first, is it okay if I talk about Leah's things that came up with your topic? So first, about the lines. Yeah, that was really cool because this week in school, finally we're back in school with the students, and overall, teaching here for 20 years, I feel like they're so into their discipline and their rules that they're they can learn and memorize really quickly. But when it comes to like just the creativity and the freedom and to move and act without rules, they just like freeze up, and it's like that atmosphere is like, oh my god, no, I can't. Like, what do I do? So I always saw that. I mean, it's good to have that discipline and that level of memorization and all of that, but also to relax and tap into that other side. So over these 20 years, I think I always try to focus on first that atmosphere. Like when you brought up something about liking it and having a difference, I think, like you're saying, more than liking it, it's first being able to just relax, just feeling comfortable, that space. And I noticed once I can try to break up that stiffness, that robot, like, oh my God, I can't move. I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to get in trouble. That fear. Um, it's amazing what comes up. And yeah, sometimes dangerous because they go overboard, like it is open up, and like they like just need to let it out, a lot of their energy depending on the age. But anyway, like they can't even, like this week they were matching answers, like we're doing a listening and it's a conversation exercise and looking at the pictures and matching, and they all have this habit when they need to connect that they take out their ruler. And I'm like, okay, in English here, I know you guys always connect things with a ruler, but can you connect it without a ruler? And they couldn't. I was like, okay, like this, you can go around this way. And I was like, okay, how about you guys all, your original, let me see your original connection. It can be like, whatever you feel, let me see. So then they're like, the teacher too was like, no, they're supposed to use the ruler. I was like, no, but the purpose of this is just to see. I was like, as long as you know that this goes with that, it's okay. Just that whole idea of always having to use a ruler. So just that kind of stuff. And their lines are always so stiff. And so it's like, so they started drawing cool. I was like, look at mine, looks like a wave, and just that kind of stuff. And then they all having fun and just bringing that fun and that creativity just in simple connecting. There's that kind of stuff. So about the lines, I think a lot of what you said, more than the science, I'm really appreciating all this science to back up my ideas that everybody always thought was crazy. But I feel it and I see it always in my classes in the 20 years with that, like going back to my paper, how it's called the magic and power of aloha and flow, because I feel like that is just basically what I've been trying to say, that is effective and it's working. I mean, just that love and that good feelings and that energy. And then when I started researching, and I don't know if you guys heard about it, but in my class I talked about the vagus nerve. Have you guys heard about it, right? And it's still related in how children naturally have a higher vagal tone, and then through experience and everything, and it just naturally it lowers. So just ways to tap into that, to tone it and to bring it, that vibration back up, because the atmosphere and the energy, it just can really feel it and sense it. And how much more effective the learning and everything is when they can just peel off this, put down the barrier, the walls of having to be perfect, or being afraid of making any mistakes. Is and then like I found a lot of science is basically talking about basically what you're saying, about the neurochemicals and all the stuff that we talked about in class, is basically what my paper was actually about, just more in a broad term. I think because for me, it's been mostly, I feel like I just have, 20 years of actually experience all of this without any scientific background or data. And now I have that part to just show that, it's really not just my crazy idea, guys. In fact, one more thing, just yesterday on the way home, because so I like to have fun and we play games. I get them moving, dancing and all that stuff. But when there's tests going on or the teachers don't want us to make noise, they tell us, okay, you guys have to really keep it quiet or do quiet activities. And I was like, okay, hey guys, we're gonna try to whisper, what are we gonna do? And so I had them doing some drawing activities, but I thought, other things, because again, they're not used to of just having so much freedom. If I tell them, okay, draw what you like, even that for younger kids, to me, it's almost sad, because like when you're younger, it's a fun thing to talk about what food you like. But even when you ask like a 6-year-old, they're almost like, they're like, they want to make sure that the students around them like all the same thing. I mean, it's part of their culture of just wanting to have that they don't want to. It's like that saying, like, what is it, the nail that sticks out gets pounded down, gets that's really what they always say. Whereas like of some cultures, like in America, they say, oh yeah, in America the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So it's a totally opposite. Like, yeah, you don't want to stick out still. I mean, I understand, keeping that harmony and that community, but to just be okay, especially with something you like. It's okay to like a strawberry and he likes an apple. Like, there's nothing bad, there's nothing bad with that, So I found this really exciting for me, because I think I mentioned before somewhere that the whole idea of medicine, whenever you say something, you say the word medicine, you need to be a doctor, or you can't even, you're not allowed to use certain words here even. So like if I say like, this is really like, medicine, flow can be as good as medicine. I was already thinking like, oh yeah, I could get in big trouble for using that word. But this doctor, just actually, he made his book, is published last month, actually. Found it at the bookstore on the way home, just looking for ideas for my children about quiet activities. And it says in Japanese, but it's medicine. Like they're working with mandalas for it's like can be medicine, as good as medicine. And a doctor wrote this book. So this is another thing, like just bringing in, good things. And then creativity, what colors, the original colors, and breathing, and while we're singing ABCs, to be able to just have that freedom and that creativity to just, so I think this is really helping me just everything, just by researching and working, learning so much from all of you and from this course is really, for me, just giving me that confidence to tap into my inner wisdom and knowledge and know that, yeah, what I've been doing, it's medicine. It's been medicine, and it's even getting better. And I'm just so excited because so many people, and actually just on the news, there's so many younger, even famous actresses or actors that are committing suicide. I don't know if you guys heard about, but really, really sad. Just this week again, the other day. And then I think that's just putting out, yeah, and because they like that culture of following, oh, hey, that's what I need to do, everything's just not going good, I'm sick, I'm not happy, something's wrong, so I just have to, take care of the problem, and all the shame for my family, and they just kill themselves. And it's really a big, or there's a problem, they call it like the teenage, when they go to that stage, they just lock themselves in the room and they don't want to come out. And that's a big problem around, like just around here, like my friends' children and stuff. So I think which is the reason when I even decorated, when I created or designed my house, I purposely didn't really make a room. It's just a really small space for my kids, so that everything is really open. No matter what, we always have that time to see each other just for a little bit even, and just have more family open time. But yeah, sorry, it's going all over the place, but I think basically like what you're just talking about in your paper was also related to mine. And yeah, breath. And even like you're saying about with being disabled, or if you're not feeling like moving, like, yeah, this week I couldn't, the teachers told me to just be really quiet and try to just not really even move or talk. So I was like, okay, that's a good challenge. So just more exercises that we can still try to tap into that flow and that fun atmosphere while being really quiet. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, like, I think that would really help, because I feel like I could go on don't want to.
I'm curious about the aloha aspect
Mhm.
that you were writing about. Could you tell us some more about how that links together?
Okay, so basically, there's different definitions. Like it's really broad. First of all, the word even in the Polynesian culture, like in Maori language, they call it. They spell it with an R, but it's very similar. They call it. They say aroha nui or even aroha, and it's like that meaning of empathizing, empathy, and what else? Like empathy and love and then even in Sanskrit, I think it means like increasing, meaning of like, where do I have it? But yeah, that word even is very ancient, I think, and it's linked. It goes back to that mean, almost like in Japan they call it, yeah, lifelong learning.
Maya,
And yeah,
just
can you hear me?
did you just say in Sanskrit? Did you just say?
Yeah. Is that wrong? I was looking around and it says in Sanskrit. Wait, in my notes. They spell it Aroha, right? There's a word in Sanskrit. It means, I think, like increasing or something like that. Like, did you wait? I have it written down somewhere. I don't. Oh, shoot, where did I put it?
The reason why we're bringing this up is because since we moved to Bali, we were seeing connections between some, not necessarily Sanskrit, but some traditions that we noticed here. And we were wondering, wow, is there a connection between here and like, where do they get some of the things they get? Did someone from India go a long time ago to,
Yeah, I mean, it could be. It's interesting. I think, yeah, I guess, oh, yeah. Growth, increasing, rising, that kind of meaning. And then like in Maori, to feel compassion, to love, to empathize. That's in Maori, right? And then in Hawaii, they have like just each letter can be the A is for akahai, kindness, expressing it with tenderness. The L, lokahi, like we have lokahi, unity, to be expressed with harmony. O, olu, being more agreeable, like pleasant, like trying to just more peaceful. Ha'a, humility, to be expressed with modesty. Ahonui, patience, to be expressed with perseverance. So, and there's a lot of stickers, and a lot of people have this as a reminder, like basic rules about more towards the ontological aspect of just being, basic values that can be linked to a lot of other cultures. It's almost like a universal. Like I don't know anybody to say, oh no, that's bad, patience is bad, that kind of thing, A lot of these basic ideas or what people believe the aloha is I think pretty universal. And then this other interpretation found by this male named Carby Rule, he's called it the deeper meaning of aloha. He says, a can mean to burn or sparkle. Lo, short for lo'o or lo'a, meaning to obtain. Or alo is sharing in the present, and oha meaning joy. Or ha even as life, energy, or breath. And then, so if you weave all this together, you can see how it involves a transformation, of energy as we mindfully and joyfully share our gifts of life and continue to seek and draw out the best in everyone and everything. So I think it's just like this kind of summarizes basically what I've been doing, and just based on that, embodying this feeling, all these feelings, and how powerful our hearts and our minds are. Like there's always stress, there's always bad things, but if we go down that spiral, then that's kind of where we go. We just start to vibrate and work at a lower frequency, and we probably, in our breath, the incoherency happens and all of that, like we studied. But if we try to just always focus on the good, because there's always good, and there's always people out there, I think, that are having, just having it harder than what we think sometimes with our situations. But
Hey, Maya.
the answer, I'm sorry.
So when you talked about how you're a teacher, and you're talking about how everyone just draws in straight lines using a ruler, and it's just like this, it's like this epiphany to be able to draw curved lines, to the same destination. I thought of the movie Dead Poets Society. You ever seen Dead Poets
I don't
Society?
know.
Robin Williams? Okay. So it's about an English school, English boarding school, and you can imagine back in the 60s, even today, it's a very in the box. You got to follow the rules. You can't think outside the box. So of course, Robin Williams plays a character named John Keating, who comes in. He actually went to that school when he was a child, but he came in with his ideas that were very contrarian to that school, like reading reading some poetry that they're not supposed to read, having them stand on their desks so they can look at different perspectives. So it just reminded me of that movie. If you haven't seen it, I think it's especially good for you. I'm sure it's on Netflix or whatever you use out there, because it's about a teacher.
Dead Poets, Dead Poets, what's it called?
Dead Poets Society. It's actually the name of a poem, I believe, from, not sure if it's Longfellow or.
Right on. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, it's a movie, but I'm sure it was a book beforehand. But it's a great thing about inspiration and thinking outside the box. So.
Yeah, like even just the way they sit, they always have to sit in perfect the way they're supposed to sit.
Well,
Come here, like circles, you guys make groups how you want. Like it's just always just so different that they, you know, a lot of people still don't like it. But I think the more I get the science backup of how it's good for their learning, and it's, I mean, they have to, I'm sure, I'm hoping that they can see why my students really just love it. They have so much fun, and they always ask, oh, so cute. I wish we could have English all day. So it's not the English. I'm sure it's not the English. It's just the energy, and they're just having so much fun, and they can actually have this much fun in other classes. It's just what they're doing, just how they're, you know, just the feeling and atmosphere, I think.
So Maya, you're an English teacher, but are you also a Hawaiian cultural teacher inside of the Japanese school, or no?
Oh, definitely not. I mean, still the principal is really strict about English is English, and you know, I'm supposed to just do ABCs and writing, and it's for tests. But we're supposed to be doing it for tests. So I still try to be really creative, and I do and song and dance because it's working. I mean, it helps them to memorize. And I naturally tie in, just, you know, bring in certain things from Hawaii and talk about, because it's just more exciting. And it's, instead of learning colors, I bring in, you know, about talking about rainbows in Hawaii, and it's related to science. And I think that's how we should.
It's really ironic to me because living so many years in Hawaii and being Asian, I'm, as you know, the Japanese love everything Hawaii. So it's an interesting thing. So it just seems like there would be a nice, I don't know, there'd be a nice bridge, you know, or a nice way to inspire them to bring more of the aloha into their way of learning. And
hopefully soon. It's more about just very shallow, like when parents are coming, oh, make sure you wear your flower, you have to wear something aloha, that kind of stuff. But when it comes to going deeper, it's like, oh no, that's not in our curriculum, sorry. I mean, it's always like that still. But I mean, with this kind of stuff, and it's in Japanese, and I mean, I have to study it, but I'm pretty sure all of this stuff is talking about the health, the benefits of the relaxing, you know, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. It even goes into that because he is a doctor, and it's proven somehow without, I gotta look into his studies, but how this for healing and for stress, I mean, they really need more ways, I think, here. I mean, I love it, but they're still with the stress, and especially with the COVID and the pandemic and everything, with how this world is right now. Video games, like kids just too much, just indoors and on their screens, and lack of communication, and their culture already is just so, you know, just try to keep the peace, you know, never show your feelings and the bad thing. So to let out their stress is to have that space and that area to do that.
So excellent work, Maya.
Yeah. Aloha, Maya. Mahalo, yeah.
Aloha.
Yeah.